Hi, I'm Ames Asbell, Assistant Professor of Viola at Texas State University, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about bow hands. Now, some people call it the bow hold or the bow grip, but I tend to shy away from those terms because I think that when you think about a grip or a hold, you think about tension and really forcing and pushing with the bow hand, and that's not what we want at all. We actually want the bow hand to be as relaxed as possible while we're playing. I like to tell my students to think about what your hand is like when you're asleep. Like if you were to be asleep and your hand flops on the pillow next to you, what does it look like? You can notice that these base joints tend to be kind of straight, and then the other joints have curvature in them. So that's a type of shape that we want to try to emulate when we make our bow hold or bow posture. What I like to try to do is let the fingers just kind of hang on the bow a little bit. We're looking to find a spot in between these two joints in the bow, on the hand, where the bow can rest. In fact, if you feel along the fingertip, you'll feel there's a little dip in the bone, and that's what you're looking for. That's where the bow stick of the bow is going to rest really comfortably. It helps often to set it up with your hand upside down like this so you can really see what's happening. In fact, you can even slide the bow or a pencil along your hand. I'm going to do it with the bow so you'll see exactly what it looks like. So if you slide the bow along the hand, you can find that comfortable spot between these two joints, and then when we turn it over, it looks a little bit something like this. So common problems in the bow posture that can affect your sound are the fingers are too spread apart. Then that creates a lot of extra tension. Like you wouldn't sleep that way. If you woke up, you'd probably have a cramp in your hand. Or the bow, if your fingers are positioned a little too high on the bow like this, if you're holding the bow with more of the tips of your fingers, then you see how all these fingers kind of straighten and tense up. So that's a lot of extra tension in the hand. Also, if you're too far over the bow, we don't have the control that we need to create articulations. So those are the most common things to look out for. The things you want to really make sure that you do have are a nice rounded pinky. You can see from this angle that we've got curves in both joints in the pinky, and that it's placed on top of the stick. I can check that by tapping. And also we want to really watch out for the index finger placement. A really common problem is over pronating in the bow. So where we want the index finger to make contact is once again in that kind of hollow spot in between these knuckles. So if you can feel that hollow spot with the index finger, then you're doing okay. If it's over pronated, it won't be able to do its job of helping with articulations and transferring weight effectively, and also this creates a lot of extra tension and unbalance in the bow hand. So when you're finished, if you've got a nice bow hand, oh, and don't forget the thumb. Thumb's got to be nice and rounded. You're going to see a nice rounded shape. So when, like if you were to put your bow on your shoulder or when your bow's on the string, you should be able to kind of see down through that, and it's sort of like an oval shape. So really important. I think the bow is the beginning of the sound. It's where your tone comes from, and your posture on the bow really is, I think, one of the most important things, probably the most important thing that you can work on to improve your sound. So if you have any issues in your bow hand, make a plan to work on them. One of the best tools you have that you can work on your bow hold away from the instrument even is a pencil. You noticed I started out this video with a pencil, and we're going to end up there too. So practice making beautiful rounded bow holds and checking your points of contact on the bow. You can do this with a pencil away from the instrument. I like to tell people I fixed my bow hold in my 7th grade pre-algebra class, but I probably was in all my classes in 7th grade. That was kind of a project for me, so I remember just holding my bow and squeezing. Those are called isometric exercises. Squeezing gently to strengthen the muscles in the right shape. So there you have it, just a quick overview of bow hand shape, things to help make you sound better. So thanks so much for listening.